How's it, brother? It was good seeing you this week. All right. See, we're in tune. All right, as always, we're going to compound these. Keep working on these spider exercises, because when we do these spider exercises, it changes our fingers from being flat to pointy. And we're going to be working on our scales this next week. We got a little weighted on time this week, but that's what we're working on next week. So we're going to be doing a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Here's the beginning to that. What we have here is our G string, our C string, our E string, and our A string. You know that when we spell out anything, we always omit H and we go right back to A. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, or B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat. We always do that. So here we've got the C. We want C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C again. No sharps, no flats, which means if we play C and then we hit this first fret, we're playing a C sharp or a D flat. So that's a half step. It's not like we needed that half step, it's a diatone. What we want is a whole step from the C to the D. And then we need another whole tone from the D to the E, which is your opening. Your E is also here at the fourth fret, right next to. But what we want to do is go over to the open strings. So we have C, D, open E, and then we're going to put our first finger down on the first fret for our F, because you know there's no half step in between E and F. Same thing with B and C. The caveat is when you're in a different key, as we explained, like C sharp, you have C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp. B sharp is a C major. What? I'll explain that more and we'll reiterate that. But the long story short is, if you could hear the difference between do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. One's a major, one's a minor. One has a flat 6 and a flat 5 and a flat 7. One has a natural 6, natural 3, and a natural 7. So we're going to explain what do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do is in the key of C using no sharps and no flats. When we go up the scale into our sharps like we've been working on, because G has one sharp, that sharp is F sharp. So if I were to play G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, it wouldn't have that ti, do, the lending tone that feels like it's gonna fall right off. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, not a ti, do, which is a whole step away. So in the key of C, our T, our seventh note, is going to be a diminished, and it's going to be a B diminished. So when we play the full triads, our chords, we've got a C major, which has a C, a G, and an E as my 1, 3, 5. The next chord we have is a D minor, which has my D, my D, my A, and my F. If I had a D, A, and an F sharp, it would be a major, but I don't have got a minor. So what we're looking at is C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, then C. We're going to take all the chords that we know right now, and we're going to turn those into so on and so forth. We're going to be moving through all of your Ionian modes, your major scales, and then we're going to make melodies out of that. So this week's chord, if you want to try those scales, great, but this week's chord is E major and E minor, all right? So linearly, we're going to go do our finger exercises, and when we get up to our A string, we're going to stop on the second fret on the B. So we're going to play a B, and then on the E string, we're going to play the third fret for a G, and then on the C string, we're going to play the fourth fret for a E note. All these tones are going to be in the E minor, and guess what they are? Yeah, that's it. It's the triad 1, 3, 5. So in the key of E, your 1 is E, your 3 is going to be a B, and your 5 is going to be a G. So I'm sorry about that. Our 1's going to be the E, our 3 is going to be the G, and then our B is going to be the 5, because our G, when it goes to a G sharp, makes a major. So just like today in practice, we're going to do the E minor, and we're going to sharpen this G sharp to this by laying our finger down and holding this fret. And as you showed me, you read the tablature chord charts the same way I do, just in reverse, which is great because now I know exactly how to communicate with you. So let's do the E minor, let's do the E major, and then let's work on our spider exercises, because this next week we're going to turn all these half step we're going to turn all those half steps into whole step, half step, whole step, half step for a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, a major chord. Anywho, here's our song. Work on this with all downstrokes, and we're only doing the E minor and the C major. The C major is an easy one. You can do the bar chord or the open, but when you do the E minor, make sure for the chorus, oh, look at all the lonely people, you're playing with your E minor and you're putting your finger on the 5th fret for the 7th. 6th, then we take it all off and we flatten our middle finger, and then we bring it back up for the E minor. Or you don't have to do the flatten thing, you could just play a C major. So E minor with a 7, E minor with a 6, and then a C major, then back to E minor. Cool? Here it is. Want to play along? To the top there and slow it down a little bit. Looking forward to making our own song next week with you. Till then, aloha.